Hello, Gary Champion, psychic medium, healer, author, and teacher. This is a video about addictions and addictive personalities. When you find someone who's addicted to a drug or alcohol, of course, alcohol is a drug, but addicted to something, they're using it as a crutch. And I'm stating that people who are sensitives or empaths are the most likely to be addicted to something. And not just that, but empaths and sensitives who have been damaged in some way. Some physical, emotional damage has been done to them. I don't want to get specific. But when things get too much, when you get overloaded, emotionally overloaded by the people who are just standing around you, or the people who are yelling at you, or your boss, or you turn to something. A lot of people have animals. That seems to buffer the damage. Animals look at you with those eyes, and you can pet them, and the very act of petting a dog can lower your tension, blood pressure, and things like that. No one's ever told me this, but when you're addicted to something and you're a sensitive or an empath, you're trying to smother that thing that's hurt you, that really never goes away. You think you've dealt with it, but most of the time you haven't. And it pops up and screws your day up. So addictions are not just, hey, I think I'll have a drink and join the party. Normal people who can drink without becoming addicted, I think they're becoming more rare. World's an angry place, tends to beat up on people. And there's a domino thing going on in a lot of families where the grandfather beat the father beat this father beats this child, and now you have 5 generations of damaged men who go on to damage women in their relationships. A lot of alcoholics, a lot of drug users. There's got to be some way to diffuse that. I'm not sure what, but there should be some way to fill that hole that you've got through this damage that happened without addicting you to something that's life-threatening. Some people jump out of airplanes. There's no one solution for it, but I think there should be a way to desensitize sensitives and empaths to where they're not susceptible to, or as susceptible to, things coming at them that you can see are damaging. Relationships that are toxic, jobs that are toxic, friends, neighbors that are toxic. The only way I've learned to deal with it is avoidance. I just talk to very few people. Very few people. Clients. And I don't absorb that. If a client calls me with an issue, I don't remember it, and I don't store it. But someone who lives next door, I'm kind of stuck with that. And since I've started doing healing work, it's even worse. There's a woman down the street that's very ill, and I see her out on her porch, and I feel what she's going through. That's sort of empathic. If you're an empath, you're around someone who's angry all the time, you absorb it, and it affects your life. And many people are empaths. It's easy to be empathic if you've lost your mother and you see a mother struggling, then you're empathetic toward that mother. Hear my dog playing with squeaky toys. Anyway, I don't think there's an ultimate solution for it except to desensitize yourself to these things. I have been able to simply by avoidance. I don't put up walls because that doesn't allow me to work. As a medium, I have to let stuff come in. And as an empath, you don't really. If you're not working in the field, there's no reason for you to accept negative thoughts and feelings from other people around you. The best way to get rid of the thing in the past that damaged you is to, I know it sounds strange, forgive the person that damaged you. Forgive the person that hurt you. Then it has no power over you. If you find it impossible to forgive someone who's damaged you, get ready to be living with that for the rest of your life. It doesn't go away. Until you forgive the person who did that, you can't equalize your life and become the normal person that you were before. I'd list a long list of things that I hear in readings that have damaged people, but there would be no point to it because you know what. In some cases, some people do not know what the damage is. It comes out in readings often. They don't remember that event, or they don't remember it well enough that they would say anything about it, but they have an idea. The easiest way to become less sensitive is to forgive the person who damaged you. And it's not that hard to do because that person's life is ruined as well. When someone does those things to you, their life is damaged similarly. They're doing it to you because somebody did it to them. You're forgiving them of that damage breaks the chain of passing it down. Men tend to repeat what was done to them. Women can do it, but often they manage to put it into perspective. Men hold on to it forever, but women they get a handle on it somehow. They understand it. They do forgive. They do move on. That's what women are more complicated than men, and they're able to think at multi levels of emotion, and men don't. So women can forgive this thing down here that happened there, and go on to be mothers and live their lives as though that didn't happen. Men, we tend to carry it around in us until we forgive that person. And you just can't say you forgive them. That doesn't work. You've got to really, in your heart, forgive them for whatever it is they did. Tough one, isn't it? I just thought I'd give you something to think about this morning. It's one I've been thinking about for a long time. So, addictive personalities is more prevalent in empaths and sensitives than in people who are not so sensitive. This leads them to be addicted. Painkillers, um, uppers, downers, marijuana. Marijuana is a pretty effective tool at diffusing hate and resentment that you have in yourself, but it's temporary. It's not permanent. It desensitizes you temporarily. Uh, Life is beautiful when you're high. Unfortunately, you've got to come down. When you come down, it's the same crap. You have to face it at some point. Stare it down. Put it in a cage. Keep it separate from the life you're trying to live. Otherwise, it poisons your life. Addictions. There are some people who are addicted to things and they do rehab 3 or 4 times and eventually clean up. But the desire is still there. Because it's the one thing that kept them from feeling the bad things that they feel. Anyway, I thought I would give you my perspective on addictive personalities. They're usually empaths and sensitives. They can be anybody, but I'll bet you if you find someone who's really addicted to something, they can't really live without it, that they were damaged at some point in their past. And now they're so sensitive they find it hard to live in the world, and they take substances. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.